This is the Great Legend, and I am coming at you live from Dark Avenger Inc. Plus with today's in-depth review. The Phantom Stranger issue number 4. Fans, look at that beautiful cover. Phantom Stranger issue number 4. Check it out. The Stranger in this issue tells you right off the cover. The Stranger meets Justice League Dark. We got John Constantine, aka Hellblazer himself, coming at you live straight up on the cover. And if you notice, John Constantine on the cover looks totally smooth, badass, suave guy. And look at the Stranger. Looks like Stranger's getting pulled against his own will. Now, the title in this story, when you turn it to the first page, it says The Phantom Stranger in Abduction. That's right, fans. Here in this issue, Phantom Stranger issue 4, there is an abduction, and there's a lot of abductions going on. Let me tell you a little bit about the story and set the stage. So, here we go. Philip Stark, who is the Phantom Stranger, or he's Judas Iscariot from biblical times. You remember the guy. He sold out Jesus, told the Romans where he was in the garden so he could get some silver coinage, right? You know, get a little money, sell out his boy Jesus. We all know what happens. Jesus gets crucified on the cross, and then Judas himself, he thinks there's nothing else to live for. He know he did wrong, so he hung himself in a tree to try to escape the wrath of God. But here's the thing, fans, the wrath of God had different plans for our friend Judas. Yeah. So, in the New 52's version of Phantom Stranger, Judas becomes the Phantom Stranger, a man to walk the world, to walk his eternity life on this world until God speaks to him. And of course, we know in issue 0 of Phantom Stranger, God spoke to him and gave him the mission. And the mission primarily is to walk the world and listen to God, and whatever God tells him to do, he has to do it. When he does do it, he has this necklace of silver coins on him. Each coin will fall off once he does a job for God. So, that's a little bit about Phantom Stranger. Many of you here on Dark Avenger Inc., or maybe even Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, may have not read The Phantom Stranger, and some of you fans at home may have not read Phantom Stranger. So that's a little background on the man, the myth, the magical being known as the Phantom Stranger. And he's coming at you live now on Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, and I'm hoping that I can continue to review the Phantom Stranger on Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. But if I convince some of the boys in the back to start reading the Phantom Stranger and join the Phantom Stranger Club, then so be it. Let the folks review the Stranger. Back to the issue 4 review. So Philip Stark is his name that he's created for himself, and he has created a life for himself outside of the magical world and the magical missions that he goes on, that God calls him to do. Philip Stark has a lovely wife named Elena, and he's got 2 kids, a boy and a girl. And currently in the first part of this comic book, Elena has taken her husband Philip out for a shopping trip here at the clothes store at the mall. He tells her that he doesn't want to be there. Let him just pick out some of his own shirts and pants, and they'll be about their business and they'll go home. Because currently in the storyline, the kids are being babysitted by a teenage boy named Chris. Not to be confused with our good Dark Avenger. That'd be funny though. But yeah, so they're getting babysitted. So he's worried about the children. So the wife says, okay, here you go, call them up. He calls them. Of course, they're running around, just having a good time, fighting and wrestling, while Chris is just chilling there, eating some snacks and watching some monster movies. He thinks immediately that this teenage punk is watching slasher films. The wife says, no, he's not into the slasher films. He's more into the classic monsters, kind of like me. And they made a really cool reference to Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff in the story. So immediately I loved that. Thought that was really good. The dialogue between Philip Stark and his wife Elena was excellent. best dialogue I've seen in this series since. Actually, this is the best dialogue I've seen in this series. I've loved all the issues 0, 1, 2, 3, but I think they went, 5 of 5 right here. I'm already calling it 5 of 5, but let me get the rest of the story. So she gives him some clothes, right? So he goes into the dressing room, and right when he closes the dressing room door, boom, just instantaneously, you see space all around you, like stars, blackness, space. It's like a time shift, a dimensional portal opens up, if you will. So he walks towards the light, towards the light, towards the light. When he comes into a big room, he sees the man known as Hellblazer, John Constantine, aka the leader of Justice League Dark. And Phantom Stranger is pissed off because you just don't mess with the stranger. You don't call him, he calls you. You understand? So Constantine is being really a smartass with a stranger. So they're going back and forth with their dialogue, and it's really funny. And John Constantine says, "You don't know how hard it was to get you here, stranger. I actually had to sacrifice the Judas goat right here." And he has this bloodied up knife with this goat named after his old name, Judas. Stranger's really pissed. But what happens is John Constantine knows there is something coming in the DC universe. Some evil magic is lurking, and they want the stranger to be a part of Justice League Dark. They want to make sure that Phantom Stranger is either running with the JLD, or they going to get his ass hunted by the JLD. They want him close. They need his help. So what happens is the Phantom Stranger, he wants no part of it. He just wants to go back home, which he can because he's the Phantom Stranger. He could pretty much walk through time, walk through interdimensional portals and everything. So he's a ghost-like figure. He's a phantom, if you will. And he's called Phantom Stranger. So our Phantom Stranger here, he's hacked off. And so John Constantine says, "Frankenstein, go teach him a lesson." Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, is here. Deadman's here. Black Orchid and Madame Xanadu is here with John Constantine, members of Justice League Dark. Frankenstein puts his hand on the Phantom Stranger's shoulder. You don't mess with the Phantom Stranger. Phantom Stranger says, "Remove your hand from me," or "Take your hand off me." And all of a sudden, Phantom Stranger gets this bluish glow, bluish smoke, and it decapitates the hand of Frankenstein, former Agent of Shade. Sorry about that. So he drops to the ground, and he calls on Madame Xanadu to come over there and help him. So she does that. Then Deadman goes like straight in. So Deadman gets up and he dives into the Phantom Stranger to try to take over his body and control it like the Deadman does. That's how the Deadman rolls with it. And Phantom Stranger said some strong words. He says, I can't remember what he said, but it was kind of biblical, but they did not mention the name Jesus here. He said, "In the name of my Creator and my destroyer," or whatnot, "remove yourself. I cast you out from my body." And then boom, it just threw out old Deadman. So that was awesome. So then Black Orchid says, "What are we doing? We need to all team up and go at him." Go at him as a team, because we're Justice League Dark, right? And then John Constantine's like, You think? Really? You're just figuring that out now? Because Constantine was a real smart-ass. Great dialogue in this book, and I'll get to more of that dialogue here in a minute. But, so anyways, he tells the rest of the four to wait outside. He's going to talk over a proposition. So, John Constantine pretty much is one of the smartest guys in the DC universe as far as knowing things. Just, studying the heroes. He pretty much knows all the identities of the heroes. He knows a lot of things that's going on in the DC universe. And that makes John Constantine a pretty awesome character to read about. So, they've already talked before about Phantom Stranger joining Justice League Dark. And if you're a reader of Justice League Dark, check out Justice League Dark issue 14 to find out more about their first encounter. So what happens is he wants him to sign an agreement, saying that he will join Justice League Dark, fight on their side when the time comes. And he starts, he pulls this silver coin out of his pocket. He's flipping it around, showing it off, and he said, God, or the beings that talk to you, when you do all their missions, all the coins drop. And when that last coin drops from around his neck, that is when our Phantom Stranger will be free. But John Constantine pulls out this other coin. He's flipping it around. Two-Face style, Hey, look at me. I got the coin. What are you going to do? Now you got to join. It's kind of like blackmail, right? Well, all that does is it pisses off the Phantom Stranger. And he starts, wanting to go at John Constantine. John Constantine's got this little candle. He just goes like this. He blows out this candle. And then, boom, Phantom Stranger's teleported back to the dressing room at the mall. Now, I didn't get at this earlier, but the room where Phantom Stranger got teleported to, or he walked down to the light, was House of Mystery, the headquarters, the hideout, if you will, of Justice League Dark. So that was kind of cool. House of Mystery, yes, very neat. So anyways, John blows the candle out, boom, he goes back to the dressing room. Now he senses that it's been about 20, 30 minutes or so, and Elena left, or he senses there's been a time shift. He did not get transported back to the exact time. So he's thinking in his mind, maybe Elena just figured I went out and went back home, because sometimes Philip Stark, aka Phantom Stranger, will lose time in his head, or he'll leave his body and do things outside of his body in his phantom form, and his body will just be sitting there in a catatonic state. So sometimes Elena has to, try to slap him, wake him up, But, so he's scared because Elena's not there. He rushes home. He opens the door. He says, Elena, the kids, where y'all at? Where y'all at? No one's there. But he goes into the living room, and there he sees, pinned to the wall like this, like someone got crucified, was Chris, the babysitter. He drops down, to his knees. He gets Chris off there. He says, God, Chris, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry this has happened to you. And then he turns on a sonar type, these ripple waves to see if he can sense his family. Where has his family gone? He doesn't sense anything, but he does sense one thing. Something he has sensed before in previous issues. Part of the the Trinity of Sin. I think that's their nickname. But it was three people. It was Phantom Stranger, aka Judas Iscariot, Pandora, the gal that opened up the magic box and let sin all over the world. And then there's a third person, but we don't know who that person is yet. Check Phantom Stranger 0 for that if you want to know more about that. But Pandora gets there. He immediately thinks it was her that, made his family disappear. She has lied to him before, but he has lied to her. But she says she had no part in doing that whatsoever. But she says, think about it. It could only probably be one person. And on the final page, we have someone that the Phantom Stranger had some run-ins with in the past, and virtually caused this guy to become none other than the Spectre. So the final page, big page of the Spectre, which Phantom Stranger inevitably made this guy become the Spectre. So the Spectre has no love for the Phantom Stranger, and he wants to destroy the Phantom Stranger. Actually, John Constantine was saying in the book and some of the dialogue that Phantom Stranger's been hacking off a lot of people and making a lot of enemies in the magical world of the DC Universe. So, yeah, he needs all the help he can get if he wants to find his family. But that's why I'm looking forward to Phantom Stranger issue 5. Let's talk a little bit about the book. This, of course, is Dan the Man Didio on the whole book. It's his ideas, his plots. Now, for the first time out of this series, we have a script by J.M. Matisse. J.M. Matisse is helping with the script, aka script is the dialogue. Many people in our comic book community that aren't in the Phantom Stranger Club, I'm in the Phantom Stranger Club. I mean, Phantom Stranger for life, you know what I'm saying? But some people did not like the dialogue, so they got a new guy on the script, J.M. Matisse, and you can definitely tell the script is a lot better. The dialogue between the characters, mainly this book, 3 big scenes of dialogue with his wife in the mall, Elena, in the House of Mystery with the Justice League Dark, and at the very end with Pandora. Excellent script. And you know, it's just non-action really. I mean, he pulls the hand off of Frankenstein and he gets rid of Deadman quite easy. But hardly no action in here. Mainly just dialogue. So the story pulls you in, it sucks you in. The art, we have pencils by Brent Anderson, and then we have, of course, Philip Tan, and we got Hunter here on the embellishments. Philip Tan, you may know him from the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe comic covers of issues 1 and 2. So fans, I give this book here 5 of 5. Excellent review. Phantom Stranger, excellent comic book. You know, if you're not picking up this book, give it a shot. You know, I'm thinking probably, let's see, maybe issue 5, issue 6, or somewhat thereafter, we'll have our first trade paperback of Dan the Man Didio's Phantom Stranger. I encourage you all to check out this book. You'll be glad you did. For Dark Avenger Inc. Plus, I'm the Great Legend, and thank you for watching the in-depth review of Phantom Stranger number 4. Peace out. God bless.